Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Sure. What hinges do you need?
So, we're hanging a kitchen door, not the door to a kitchen, like a kitchen cabinet. Okay, 1 3/4 thick door, 7 feet tall. It's a concrete floor, and there's no header. And we're looking to do a full inlay. So we were going to use the SOS 218s, but there's like a concrete wall behind the sheetrock behind it, and there's really no jamb in place. So we headed towards using like a continuous hinge, but now we're having a lot of trouble locating one because the one that we'd like to use, the factory is backed up. So I've seen the YouTube videos you guys put out, and it seems like you know a lot about hinge hardware, so I thought maybe I could learn something.
So have you put sheetrock over furring strips directly onto concrete?
So the condition of the wall is, like the wall where the hinge location would be, is 3/4 inch plywood over concrete, and the plywood is painted.
What about the header?
It's just sheetrock, but there's a gap between.
Oh, you don't have a header?
No, there's no header. There's no jamb, essentially.
Well,
I guess the plywood is the jamb. And based on so the door was sent as part of the kitchen, and there's essentially room to put in about 5/16 of material over the plywood, but not much room more than that.
Yeah. So is this single acting, I imagine?
What does that mean?
Is it just swinging in one direction?
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay, so and the door is 1 3/4 thick, and you want to have it inset, or you want to have a standard, installation where the door is set into the opening.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so a continuous hinge would be, you might just be able to use a piano hinge, just
exactly.
something typical and easy like that. You could use offset pivots, load-bearing offset pivots only, where you're hanging it. You could obviously use just traditional hinges as well. Is the idea to not have any exposed hardware?
Well, yeah, it's a pretty high-end kitchen, but the builder, it's commercial setting. The builder, they didn't really put in the right structure to have these doors mounted, and the sizing of their gap, like the spaces, were a little off. They were smaller than they were supposed to be. But yeah, the idea was to not have hinges showing, and we considered pivot hinges. However, there is no header currently, and the ground is concrete. Yeah, there won't be one, and there could be one. I guess we could put one if it was not too thick, like up to like 3/4 of an inch, maybe.
Yeah, the other thing that you could do is having the hardware completely concealed is. How heavy is the door?
It's about 40 pounds.
So it's very light. I can fathom how if the drywall's already up.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've got sheetrock over plywood on top of concrete on the jamb.
The jamb is just plywood over concrete that's painted.
Oh,
So there's no sheetrock
okay.
over it.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, a sauce is just even if you took a masonry bit and just made room for the body, you're just going to have hardly nothing on there. Now, what you could consider, it might work. You could consider doing a double mortise where you basically would drill the plywood jamb for the body of the sauce only, and then surface mount the plate, the larger rectangular portion, and then mortise the door correspondingly substantially deeper. But my concern
Would it still
is
function?
Yeah, my concern is that vertical axis of pivoting. You'd really have to make accommodation for that. And I think that you could, because you would do an unusually wide prep in the back side of the door. You'd have to prep the push side of the door unusually wide. So contorting to make a sauce hinge work, I think, is pretty rough.
Yeah, I'd like essentially. There's a way we could make the sauce. Like we could cut the door and reduce its size and add material to the jamb.
Yeah.
I've told the client that look, we can make the sauces work, but it's going to cost more money than you thought it was going to. And then they agreed to just doing the piano hinges, essentially, like a higher end piano hinge. But now we can't get them.
That's a trip to Home Depot.
Oh, like that style. I got you.
Yeah,
we were looking at the. I'm not sure if you can get these, but the Roton 780 112.
So you want to do a commercial continuous geared aluminum hinge?
Yeah.
That's going to be easy to pull off a concealed hinge like that. I've got 780 112s on the shelf ready to ship. That's a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a bit gross though.
Really?
Well, don't you think?
In terms of the aesthetic?
Yeah, I think it's very ham-fisted to use that hinge in a high-end kitchen. What I'm driving at is you could use a Stanley pivot. They're 327. The only thing you would do is add a stop strip to the hinge jamb. So you'd put a stop. You're going to need a stop anyway somewhere, hardware stop or a wood stop. But you would put a hanging strip, is really what they're called, on the pivot side of the jamb, because the Stanley 327, if you want to pull that up in my site, you would attach it to the stop strip. Now you will see the knuckle of the pivot breach, but my goodness, it's a lot less to look at than a 780 112. Plus your door's going to have to be undersized, which probably isn't a problem.
So the Stanley 327/26.
So when you in my site, if you're there, type in Stanley 327. Let's do that together because I'm not sure what page it's on. Yeah, so you're on the page. So the 26 is the color.
Okay.
In terms of having inventory, I doubt I've got polished chrome in stock, but
no, we're looking for a black finish.
Yeah, that's a non-starter. That's not going to happen in these Stanley pivots. The continuous geared, we can do black in that, but the lead time's probably going to be 1 week for sure, if not 2.
Oh, so you don't have the black in stock for those?
No, I was assuming we were thinking of like a stainless sort of knockoff color.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking kitchen stainless is what, I didn't ask.
Yeah, all their hardware is like black and like oxidized bronze almost.
Yeah, so I stock stand by one actually. I stock Prime Coat. How many of these do you need?
For 3 doors.
3. Okay, so the only thing I have 3 of in stock is going to be the satin chrome. Maybe you can get somebody to paint that, powder coat it maybe. So it's an option, I suppose. Powder coating down here, it's not difficult to get that done. It's just a matter of how quickly I suppose it can get done.
Yeah. Do these need to get inlaid into the door or the floor?
Nope. You're not going to attach anything to the floor. You're not going to attach anything to the header. It gets screwed to that stop strip, and it will rest on top of the floor, but nothing's pierced or drilled into the floor.
Okay. All right. Let me look into these and see how I could make them work. But I like this idea more than using the Roton 780s. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have the satin chrome in-house?
I do. I've got 4 of them sitting here.
Okay.
Yeah, the Roton
right.
is okay, and I can get the ABH continuous gear, but they're going to be a week, for sure a week. It's going to be that or a little bit longer for black.
Yeah, so I had ordered them from a supplier, and they had 2 to 3 business days before it ships on their website, and then I got an email saying that the factory is behind and it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks. And then
whose hinge was that?
Which hinge?
Yeah, who's the manufacturer?
Roton.
Completely forget any product by Hager. Completely forget shipping any of that stuff. They've got an epic factory grind to a halt thing that's been going on for 6 months. They're building a massive distribution facility, and it has crumbled their ability to ship stuff on time. I'm still getting stuff from last Thanksgiving from them.
Oh,
so we just got to avoid them is the problem.
Is Roton Hager?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Roton is
okay.
like saying,
I got you.
Lexon. Lexon's really or Coke. Coke is soda, carbonated beverage. It's a brand name.
Gotcha. So, but you have a version of this that's not from them? Or you can get one that's not?
A different manufacturer. I wouldn't use Hager for that. It would take them forever to get it shipped.
Gotcha. So about a week for the black.
Oh, for sure a week. It generally wouldn't run too much longer than that, but it's nothing that's shipping in 2 or 3 days.
Okay. And the Stanleys you have in stock?
That's ready to go. And that's an easy thing to install. How are you going to stop the door on the other side?
Well, so one of the doors there's going to be like a magnetic security locker essentially at the top. So the door would get to that, and then the door would have a magnetic plate on it that's a sensor that connects back to like a module that's attached to what's, I guess, the jam right now, but there's no.
Yeah.
On the other side, we can essentially do like a 2x4 beam that goes across and put a stop on it.
You wouldn't need it at the header. You would need it on the pivot side to hang the door. If you've got some other means of stop, it sounds like you do. That's also a switch, like a normally open switch. It sounds like. Yeah, I think it would be easy. When you pull up that 327, you can look at the installation instructions that are there. It's easy peasy.
Okay. Yeah, this might be it. I think I just have to tell them it's going to be chrome, or we'll spray paint them black.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer it be powder coated if time allows, but in a pinch, yeah, you could. No one's going to touch them. I would prime coat it first. I would try to treat the surface of that metal before you just get out the old Krylon and start spraying.
Yeah.
But since you know what I mean, no one's going to touch it. It's not a handle. It probably would be okay, and you're going to see so very little of it when the door's closed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay.
My name is Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate your
yes,
time.
Sir.
I'll just go ahead and order these online if we decide that these are the ones, because I just have to send it to the client and show it to them.
Right on.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.